Alright guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to learn how to log in a user. So for that I'm going to create in here a new file. So I'm going to create a new file called login.php, and this file login.php is going to be very similar to the first one in here of the register. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy everything from my register. I'm going to do a Command A to select everything, and I'm going to do a Control C or Command C, copy everything, put it on my login.php. Okay, now let me just go in here on my index. I think I don't have any navbar at the moment. Let me just see, I don't remember now. So I got my login. Yeah, if you click on the login, it's still going to the login. So in here on my login page, first of all, when you do a login, you don't need to pass a username. Okay, you need to pass only the user email and the user password. And in here, it does not say register, but it says login. Okay, so down here, where is this button with, it says register, I want to do login. This is the text that you see on the front end. Then I'm going to also put, let me see, the name of this button is going to be login. So when we're going to submit this form, we can just grab this button to see if we are submitted or not. This form, look, this time is going to be also on a method of post, but we want to submit this form to the same file that we are doing at the moment. So I'm going to put in here login.php. Okay, now this should be all good. I want to get rid of this div in here with the username because we don't need it. Okay, when you do a login, you don't need nothing of this. Okay, so I'm gonna save this and I think it should be all good. Let's just refresh our page. Look, I'm on login.php in here on the top. Okay, look, this is the navbar that we did in the beginning, guys. If you don't remember, just increase the zoom in here so you can see. We got home, we got register, and we got login. This is the login page we are just creating right now. Okay, now let's grab whatever people are typing down in here. Okay, let's grab it on the top. This code, like I mentioned, guys, we just did a copy of our register.php, so we can just edit these now. On the top, first of all, I'm going to check if is set $_post. This is our super global variable. This time I want to make sure that we are posting this button with the name of login. Okay, this button with the name of login. So when you submit this form to this file itself, I want to grab it in here on the top and make sure that this has been posted. That's why we are using this $_post. If it was something like this, I want to require my connection to my database. Okay, let me just clean up all this stuff that we don't need. First of all, we are not grabbing any username anymore. Okay, we are not grabbing any username anymore because we just have the user email and password. So I have already in here a user email that I'm grabbing from the form itself. I'm grabbing the password. I'm also sanitizing it. Okay. Now, this time, I don't need to hash the password. I'm going to show you how you can compare one thing with the other. So let's just get rid of this. What I want to do in here is, let me just check what I have in here right now. So I'm going to check. I'm going to do it first of all, okay, delete this. And I'm going to delete all of these things for now. Maybe not delete everything. I'm just going to comment. And we're going to see what we need to use. Okay, after I get all of these, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do stmt, okay, a variable statement that we are calling. This is going to be equals to the PDO, okay. We're grabbing this from our connection to the database. I'm going to prepare a SQL statement, which is going to say select all columns from my table users, okay, where, okay, the email is going to be equals to something, where the email is going to be where, because imagine that you are trying to log in with an email that does not exist in our database. We need to check this. Okay, so I'm grabbing all the users from my database where I'm selecting all the columns from the table users where the email is going to be equals to whatever you are typing down. Then what I want to do is execute it. So I'm going to do stmt, and then I'm going to do an execute to execute this statement. The execute, like you guys remember, takes an array like this, and now I'm going to put the value that should be in here on this positional parameter. So I'm going to put in here user email. Okay, this is what we grabbed in here from the top, if you guys remember. Okay, now after I execute this, I'm going to do in here user, which is a new variable. I created this variable now called user, but could be anything else. Now I'm saying user equals to my statement, and then I'm going to do fetch. Okay, so now doing this like this at the moment, I can actually get access to this user if it exists on the database. I can access things like these. Look, user arrow ID like this. Look, I can do something like this, user ID. Okay, I could use to grab this one in here. I could do user name to grab the name of the person like this. User name. Okay, I could do user email like this to grab the user email. And so on. Okay, so we could actually do this. And let me just show you one thing. We are not going to do this right now. I'm just giving you an example. On our config db.php, do you guys remember when we did this code? PDO, set attribute, and so on. We are actually, when we did this code, was to make sure that we can use this object-oriented way. You know, when you are using this arrow, it's just to make sure that we can access it like that. If you didn't do it like that, you would have to access things like this. Look, user 0. This user 0, it would be your first column of your database, which is this ID. The username, it would be something like this. Instead of username like this, you would have to do user 1. Now, you tell me, which one is it easier to grab? Is it better to do user arrow and then name to grab the name from your database, or is easier for you to just do user 1? You tell me. Okay, so that's why we did that. Let me just get rid of this stuff. So this is what I just show you. Now what I'm gonna do after I grab this user, if it exists on the database, of course, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do if. Okay, I'm gonna do in here if is set. Okay, is set user. Okay, so you're doing in here if is set user, because you need to make sure that this user actually exists. If you are trying to grab something from the database that does not exist, this will not work. Okay, so I'm gonna do is if is set. I'm gonna check if password $verify. Okay, this is a PHP function that is gonna check the password that you are putting in at the moment with the password that is hashed on your database. Okay, so this is what this function does, this password verify. First of all, you're gonna pass in the password that people are typing down on the login, which we grab up here with this value, password. And the second value that you pass in here in this password verify is gonna be what? User. Look, this variable that we just grabbed in here. And as I told you, you can go onto that user from that email and grab the password from the database like this. Okay, this will grab you whatever you have in here on your user itself. Okay, So now we got this if password verify. If this is true, okay, this if statement is going to give you true or false. So if it's true, what we're going to do is, I'm just going to do echo the password is correct. Okay. Else, okay, you're going to do something like echo the login email or password is wrong. Okay, so you don't want to tell the user if the email or the password is wrong, okay, because if you say it, it will help them hack your system. You don't want that. Okay, so now that this is all done, it should actually log in the user. So let's just check if this is working or not. So I'm going to go in here on my page. I'm going to go into my register a complete new user. I'm going to call this one Tom, for example. So this is going to be tom@email.com. And now I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the password. I'm going to register it. Now it should be all good. Let's go in here into my localhost, my PHP, my admin. I'm going to refresh the page and look, I got tom@email, and I got the password. Now let's try to log in with this user in here. So I'm going to do login. I'm going to do tom@email.com, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to click login. Looks like we have an error on line 11. So what's the problem in here? So let me see. Oh, I see what's wrong. In here, when we did our SQL query, we said select all, but we forgot the from users where email equals to something. Did we do this on our register? Yeah, we got the from. Okay, so I don't know how did I forget this. So let's just in here try again. I'm gonna do Tom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do login, and look on the top. The password is correct. Okay, so we were actually, let me just do a bit less zoom. We're actually checking with this password in here, and they were matching. Okay, so now if they were actually matching the passwords, what we want to do is, you can have two ways of keeping your user logged in on your website. You can either use sessions or you can use cookies. There are some people that they say they prefer sessions. Some people say they prefer cookies because cookies, they are not so secure, but it doesn't matter. You can use any that you would like. What I'm going to use in here for this course is going to be the sessions. So in here, if the password is correct, what I want to do is, I want to start in here a new variable called $_session. Okay, so this is a super global variable that will allow you to start a variable with whatever name you want. So $_session, this is a super global variable, and now I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to give it a name of user ID, for example, and this is going to be equals to what? This is going to be equals to the ID of my user that I'm trying to log in. If you guys remember, on our database, the IDs, they are unique. So if you are trying to log in a person with the ID of something, that person is just unique. Okay, so in here, I'm going to start a new variable from sessions called user ID, and I'm going to put in here user, like this, ID. So I'm starting this new variable if the password is correct. Okay, so that's it. Now in here where it says the login or email password is incorrect, we can do something very similar to what we did on here on the register. So I'm going to copy this basically. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to say, instead of email taken, I'm going to say login wrong. Okay, and this login wrong, I'm going to put this message. Okay, I'm gonna just comment this out. Down here on my form, now let me just copy my code from my register, which we did. I think we used the same thing. So so if is set, and I'm gonna do in here what? Login wrong. I'm calling it wrong login. It doesn't make too much sense. Wrong login. Okay, this is gonna be my variable that will only exist if the login is wrong for some reason. So in here, I'm gonna do if is set wrong login. I'm gonna do a p tag in here with a background color of red, and I'm gonna do the message that I have there on the top, the wrong login. Okay, so in here, why the hell did I put this in here? This should be fine, okay? I don't know why did I put this on my register as well, guys. Just get rid of it. You don't really need it. So that's it. Let's try it again with a wrong login this time. I'm gonna try in here with Tom, and I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now instead of 6, I'm gonna put 7. I'm gonna put login, and look, the login email or password is wrong. Now, if I make everything fine, all the logins, what I want to do is, let me go in here on the top. So I'm on the register. I want to go to the login. So if everything goes well, okay, you start the session variable called user ID. I want to redirect my user from the login page that we are at the moment. To do a redirect, you can use this header, okay? Now I'm going to put a location like this. So header location. And now I'm going to put some colon. I'm going to put the location where I want to send my user. At the moment, because we are in here in our local host, I need to copy these local hosts. So I'm going to go to my home. This is where I want to load or redirect my user. So I'm going to copy this URL on the top, and I'm going to paste it in here. Okay. So header should redirect us to the home page. One thing that I would like to tell you guys is when you start these session variables, they will be all the time available in your browser until you close it down. Okay, so you can navigate through pages and your user will always be logged in with this variable of $session user ID. So let's try to log in and let's try to see if we are going to the home page or not, getting redirected. So let's go to the login. I'm going to go in here in Tom. I'm going to put the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do login. Hopefully we go to the home page. Login, and look, we went redirected to the home page. Cool. So now that this is fine, one thing that you can do is, let me go to my index.php. On the top in this PHP tag that we had initially just for the requiring the connection, what I want to do is, first of all, if you want to use sessions to grab some sessions that are already set up on your server or not, you need to do this. Session_start. Okay. In order for you to use sessions and to grab them, you need to have this code on the top. Session start. If you don't have this, you can't grab sessions or anything. In here on our login page is different because we are just creating a new one. But if you want to grab some sessions that are already created or something in some pages, you need to start with this session start on the top. Okay, so you're starting your session. Then what you're going to do is you're going to do an if statement like this. If, okay, is set. So if you guys remember this is set function from PHP is setting if a variable is set or not, if it exists. So what is the variable? I want to check if it's set or not. I want to check my $session_session with the name of user ID. Oops, user ID, small letter. Make sure that you guys got this name, the same one like in here. Look, when you are creating the actual variable. Now, if this is true, if this is set, okay, what I want to do is, first of all, require my connection to the database. So I only want to require my connection to the database if the user is actually logged in. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new variable called user ID. And this variable called user ID is gonna be equals to my $_session user ID. Okay, this variable that we just created. If you guys remember when we did the login, what should be the value of this variable, $_session user ID? Should be whatever the value of the ID of your user. We are trying to do this with the user Tom, so his ID is 3. So this should be the value, okay? Back to my index.php on the top, I just created this new variable called user ID, and now I just want to do, let me just see in here, I just want to do a echo of this on the top, just to make sure that this is working. So I'm just going to concatenate these with a break tag to make sure we can see it well. Cool. Let's go to our index page. Let's refresh. And let me see if it's set. Okay, so at the moment, this is not coming up, but let me just try to log in the user again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do a login. We are coming in here. Let me just see my. So something is actually not working in here. Let me see what is it. So we got the login. So I got this. Okay, I'm gonna put the same thing in here. I'm requiring my connection. I'm saying user, and I'm then doing this. Okay, so let me just refresh the page. Let me see what's going on in here. Oh, I see what might be the problem. On our login.php, we also need to have this session start on the top. So I think this might be the problem. Let's just try it out and see. I'm gonna refresh my page. I'm gonna go to login. I'm gonna go Tom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Login, and I'm redirected to the index.php with a 3 on the top, which is this echo. Okay, we are all good so far. So what I'm gonna do right now in here is I'm gonna go and look through a statement on my database. So if you guys remember stmt for the statement, I'm gonna do a PVO. Okay, I can do this because I just required on the top in here. If you guys remember, this user ID in here is what? 3. This is what's coming from my session variable. Now I'm gonna do a statement PVO arrow in here. I'm gonna do a prepare. What I'm gonna do in here is select all columns from the users table where, okay, where the email, let me just see, not where the email, where the ID is going to be equals to something. So I want to grab the user from my database, all the columns. So the column for ID, name, email, password, and so on, only for the user where the ID is equals to something. What kind of ID do I want? I want this one from the user that is logged in. Okay, now, as usual, I'm going to do my statement execute, stmt. Okay, I'm going to do the execute. And what do I want to pass in here in this question mark? I want to pass in here an array. Okay, let me go in here. I want to pass in here one array with this value that I want to put in here with is this user ID. Okay, now that I got this, I can create a new variable called user, for example, but you guys could call it something else. User equals to my statement stmt. Okay, and I'm going to do a fetch function. Okay, now with this user variable, I can access the ID, the name, the email of this user. So the first thing I'm going to do in here is, okay, I'm gonna do in here if, okay. Let me see, I need to do this still inside of this if statement, okay. So if the user, okay, like this, the user role is going to be equals to guest, which it is, if you guys remember, I'm going to say that I have a message, okay, saying something like your role is a guest, okay, which it is at the moment. So I don't want to do anything else. So this is my message. Now down here where I have these welcome guest, please log in to register or whatever. So what I'm going to do in here is, let me see in here, what do I have? I just need to check if the user is logged in or not. So let's do some PHP in here. Before this h5 welcome, I'm going to do a PHP tag in here. So PHP to start. Then I'm going to say if is set user. Okay. So if you guys remember in here from the top, this variable user only gets set, only gets started if we are actually logged in. So I'm going to do if is set this variable user. Okay, let me just close this if statement. Okay, let me put in here this. So if this is set, I want to have in here a welcome. So I'm going to put welcome, and instead of saying welcome guest, I want to do welcome PHP. Now I'm going to do echo user name. This is how you can grab the username of this user, which, if you guys remember, look, name. You should grab the name of Tom, for example. So else, okay, so if the user is not logged in and this variable user is not set, what do I want to do? I just want to say welcome guest. So I'm going to put PHP, close this, and just close my else statement. Now we put this part in here for the just for the name, but now in here in this message where it says please log in to register to unlock all the content, I'm just gonna paste this the same thing. Look, let me just undo this. I just copy this part of the code. I'm gonna copy it, Command C, and paste it in here. Now where it says this H4, this is going to be if someone is a guest, okay, please log in, register to unlock all your content. If the user is actually logged in, I want to give it another message, which I have in here. Let me just see, where is it? I'm going to copy this. Okay, I want to put this in here. This is a super secret content only for logged in people. Okay, let's test if this is working or not at the moment. I'm going to refresh the page. Look, welcome Tom. This is a super secret content only for logged in people. Okay, but at the moment, guys, look, we still have this home, register, and login. Okay, we don't want to have this if someone is already logged in. Okay. So what you want to do is in your header, somewhere in here, where is it? Includes in your header, you need to check as well something like this. So I'm going to copy, where is it? My index.php. I'm going to copy this. Let me just see if everything is fine in here, because this is what we're going to do. Yeah, it's going to be the same thing on my header.html. On my header.html, I can just put some PHP in here, which will do like this. So if the user is set, it means the user is logged in. What I want to have is I'm going to have index.php. and I'm gonna have a index.php, which is my home, and then I'm gonna have probably a profile page, which we'll create after this. Profile, and then I'm gonna put in here profile. So this is if the user is logged in. If the user is not logged in, what I want to have is just the register. Okay, I want to have the register and the login. So I can get rid of this. Oh, wait a second. I want my home to be all the time available. So let me just put this outside of my PHP statement. So I also want to have a logout. Okay, so if the user is logged in, they can access their profile. Oops. They can access their profile. They can also log out, which we are going to do in the next video, guys. Okay, so I'm going to create another file for it called logout.php. So let's see if this is working so far. Just going to refresh my page. Okay, look, at the moment, because this guy Tom is logged in, I can go home. Profile does not exist and logout does not exist. So the user at the moment is all the time logged in. This is not what we want. We want to allow them to log out. So let's just do it now quickly, because this is very, very straightforward. I'm not going to create one more video just for it. It's like 2 minutes. I'm going to create a new file called logout.php. Okay. Now in here, let me just see in here, what I want to do is, when I'm going to go to the logout page, I'm going to start a PHP tag, close the PHP tag. Now I'm going to do a session underscore start, so we are able to work with sessions. Okay, always need to have these on the top, guys, if you need to. Now I'm going to do an if statement. Okay, if is set, okay, my $_ session. If you guys remember, the name of our session is user ID, like this. So if is set, what I want to do is session underscore destroy. I want to destroy my sessions. So if all my variable sessions are destroyed, that's it, we are logged out. So so when you click to go to this page, logout.php, this is the only code. So we get in here, we start the sessions. If there is a session with this name of user ID, we are going to destroy it. And after, we're going to redirect the person to the home page again. How do we do a redirect? You do header, and then you do location. And now, if you guys remember, just copy the URL up in here on the top. Just paste it in here. And that's it. Let's save it. Let's try this out now. Refresh our page. We got welcome Tom. This is our current user that is logged in. This is a super secret content only for logged in people. It means we are logged in. If I'm going to click on the profile, it doesn't work yet. But if I'm going to click on the logout, look. Welcome guest. Please log in, register to unlock all the content. Let's try to register one user quickly. Okay. By the way, when we register a user, I also want the user to be redirected to the home page. So on our register, after you register the user, I'm just going to redirect the user as well to the home page. Okay, let's register another user. I'm going to call this Telmo moderator, which I'm gonna explain in a second, because I want to create a moderator after on the next video. So I'm gonna put in here Telmo moderator at gmail.com, and let's put email. I always put email. I'm not sure why I put Gmail. Password 1 2 3 4 5 6. You guys can put any password that you want. Register. Okay, we are redirected to the home page. Let me refresh my database, make sure that my Telmo moderator is in here. It is, as you guys can see, with the role of guest. Now let's try to log in. I'm going to go into my login, user email, which is Telmo moderator at email.com. I'm going to put in here user password 1 2 3 4 5 6. Login, And look, we are redirected to the home page. We don't see the login and register anymore. Look, welcome Telmo moderator. This is a super secret content only for logged in people. And if I do a logout, we are logged out. So that's it guys, that's it for this video, and I hope you like it. I will see you in the next one.